Society needs change in order to thrive, in order to survive, in order to do better and progress. And when you actually think about it, that change doesn't start with some big event or some grandiose spectacle. It starts with very small actions, very small changes, very small implements put together and implemented over a long period of time on a consistent basis. And this all starts with you. If you want your environment to change, so much so, if you have family members that have bad habits, if you have friends and family that you really care about that aren't doing the right thing, you need to step into the role of leading by example and just showing them what is actually possible. Now, it might take some time, but if you show people and you lead by example, most of the time they will follow because they can see that you are reaping the benefits. Some people don't really understand the power of words and have to see it for themselves in order to be persuaded or convinced that that is the right path to follow. And even if they're not following a person and they're following the example of that person, the example that that person has set forward, then that's just what you're going to have to do. Because this is what I've noticed in my own life. I've had multiple different instances, multiple different cases where this has happened. And this was basically how I've let it be. Let me tell you a little bit of a story about how I helped my dad get into the gym after not physically exercising for over 30 years. Not really doing any kind of exercise and really taking care of his health over 30 years. And what made him change his mind wasn't some online course or some person saying something specific or somebody telling him something. It was actually from him seeing what I had done, what progress I had made by taking action every day, going to the gym every day for years and years and years. And he saw the progress I was making, and he really felt like, damn, that's what I should be doing. Like, I can see my own son feel so much better about himself, feel so much more confident, so much more energetic, so much more healthy. I should be doing that as well. And he convinced himself by seeing what was possible from me taking action every day consistently on a day-to-day basis, showing him what was possible. And by only doing that, he felt like, I need to do this. Like, I need to I want to be able to relate more to my son. I want to be able to spend more time with him. I want to be able to understand what he's talking about. I want to be able to relate to him. I want to be able to support him. I want to be able to do my best for him. And even though I never asked for that, I understand that's the role of a parent. At the end of the day, you really think to yourself, what can I do? What can I do to show people what I want them to do? If you really, 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 really want somebody to do something you want them to do, you need to show the example. You need to push yourself forward, and you need to set the example forward. If somebody's too scared to talk to you, just go up and talk to them and say, hey, how's it going? And say, oh, da da da. And start a conversation. Say, hey, I really liked so and so about you, da da da. Little bit of a comment, a little bit of a playful play on words, and then say, yeah, I mean, I noticed you've been staring at me for quite some time in the gym, and you know, I felt, you know what, there must be something that I'm missing, or like I'm maybe you're intentionally hiding from me that I need to discover for myself. And then the other person will be like, oh, and then they will lower their guard, and they won't be as stressed or as anxious to talk to you, right? Or you look at them and you smile, and you're all joyful and you're happy, and you're glad to be alive and to see them, and to show the kind of example in terms of not only energy but also actions that go with them. And this will go a very long way, actually, now that I think about it. This is what has helped me the most in all of my relationships, all of my dating relationships, all of my business endeavors, literally everything. So really think to yourself, if there's someone that you want to make sure they do better, you need to lead by example. You need to show them what is better. I go to a coffee shop and people would say like, oh, or like I might go to a family event or whatever, and they say like, oh, if you want, we've got bread and food and bread and whatever. Do you want some bread? And I was like, no, I don't. And they look at me like, what do you mean you don't want bread? And I tell them, well, it's full of shit. I don't really want to add a bunch of sugar and a bunch of salt to my diet. And this manufactured bread, I don't really want it. I don't really like it. I just don't like bread. And they look at me like, oh, okay. And then they might say something like, you know, bread's not going to kill you, right? And I told you, well, that's actually very debatable. That bread there is actually not very good for you. So that's why I don't eat it. Now, you can do whatever you want, and you don't even have to say that. You just show them, like, hey, I'm not going to eat the bread. If you want to eat it, then that's your decision. You deal with the consequences of that. I'm not going to eat the bread. And then people start thinking to themselves like, interesting. Why didn't he eat the bread? Is there actually a valid reason why he didn't eat the bread? Is the bread actually bad for you? And then they might like look it up online, like, what is the composition of the bread? And then they might see like, oh, there's like fucking 10 grams of sugar and 10 grams of salt in it. Maybe that's why it's bad. And then they might stop eating it. By the simple fact of you showing them that you do not eat the bread, they're not going to eat it. Or they have a higher likelihood of not eating it. It's all being a part of the same environment that impacts other people around you. For example, if you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, then in that case you pick up their habits, their speech patterns, their drive, the inner drive, like their inner motivational drive, their energy, all these different things, their habits, you do what they do, etc., etc. Then in that case, you would want to set yourself in a room or in a place that makes you look like the worst person there. Because if you're the worst person in a group of killers, in a group of really, really dialed in serious individuals that really want to do better, then in that case, you are going to become the next one among that group. Because you have took some time to actually put yourself in an environment where you're not the smartest, you're not the richest, you're not the most successful, you're not the most in shape, you're not the most... And the simple fact of putting yourself in an environment where people are better than you, you're going to adapt and you're going to get better by time, like very, very much quicker than if you put yourself in an environment where you're the best. Then in that case, you don't really feel like there's a need to evolve or to adapt or to do better, you know, to push yourself or to challenge yourself. That's what I'm talking about. Give me a sec. Right, I just wanted to grab some product so I can polish my shoes at the same time I'm recording this video for you guys. So basically what I'm talking about is just making sure that you are in an environment where you can actually do better, right? Because if you're always in an environment where you can do better, then in that case you'll become the kind of guy who's always seeking improvement in that environment itself. So basically, this is what I've done over the past 4 years or so. I've sought out different environments, different groups of people where I can join, I can talk to people, I can integrate the group, and I can do my best in that group in order to grow as an individual. Because that was like the number one thing that has helped me so far. Just do better. Because I remember when I first started, when I first got into, let's just say, how do you say this? When I first got into the gym, I would get advice from people that would be so much more advanced than I was in the gym, right? And so by getting their advice and by having a little bit of the character bleed onto me, I was able to become more advanced in the gym as well, right? This is the point I'm talking about. Because if you are always doing what's best for you, that you know, and you're always making progress and you're always talking to people that are better than you, then in that case, you're gonna end up being better as well. It's like a consequence. It's like, let's say you're playing a video game, right? It's a strategy game where you've got a bunch of people that challenge themselves every day and they work together and they're really trying their best in order to become the best individuals at said game, right? Well, in that case, you would want to be a part of the group of people that try the hardest to become the best, so that way you could then become one of the few that also can say like, hey, I'm really good at the game as well. That's what I'm talking about. Because the more you seek this out, the more you're going to understand, these are the things I can do in order to become better, right? And then you're going to find more and more and more and more things that are going to help you do better. This is what I'm talking about. And it's extremely important, because if you don't do this, what's going to happen is you are going to feel like you are the best guy here. You are the best guy in the group. You are the best guy at what you do. And as soon as you get to that point, you really just lose all motivation and all drive in order to do better. This is what I noticed in my life, because like I love competing. Even if it's like a friendly competition, I love competing with myself. Now, I prefer competing with other people because it makes it harder. So I can then grow and I can improve my skills at the same time as an individual. For instance, I'll give you an example of chess. If you want to get good at chess, you can't just play against the computer forever. You need to eventually play against other players. Because if you don't play against other players, what's going to happen is you're never going to improve. Your skill level is going to remain the same. And so you'll never increase in ELO or ranking. I'm trying to fix the lighting because apparently my face is fucking dark. Are we good here? No. Maybe here? It's a little bit fucked, but hey. amateur time. Just doing my best, you know. I'm not I'm not the best, all right? But whatever. We still are going to work on it. Still going to improve on it. But that's what I'm talking about. So, at the end of the day, I want everybody that is watching my content to feel like ah, these are the options I can take. These are the paths I can move forward towards. These are the things that I can take action on that are going to help me improve as a man. And I want you to think for yourself, how are you going to be able to surround yourself with people that actually push you to do better? Because this is the secret trick to living in a very, I guess you could say, an elitist, where elite people are a part of. This is kind of like being a part of a group where people just challenge themselves all the time and they're really just trying their best all the time. And you get to the point where when you're a part of this group, you feel like this is important. You feel like doing better. You feel like doing more, because when you're a part of the group, there's this how do I say this? There's this element of social conformism, right? You don't want to disappoint the group because you're a part of it. And so, since you want to be a part of the group so bad, you are going to want to make that group proud of your achievements. And you are going to want to conform more to the group because you want to be part of it. This is very important, because as soon as you want to be part of the group and you want to do what's best, then in that case, you will always think this way. And this is very important if you want to grow as a person. I've talked to many people that do this, and there's a very easy trap to fall into, which is, oh, I'm a part of this group and I'm already like halfway into the group of being like one of the best guys there, so I don't really feel like I should be taking any more action than I'm already taking. And this is a very obvious trap, because what happens in your mind is you think to yourself, wait a minute, I've already worked so hard to be a part of this group, and now that people have accepted me, they don't actually judge me as harshly as they did when I was the worst guy in the group. So what you need to do in that case is change groups, is to find a group that does a little bit better, that does a little bit more, that does a little bit things a little differently. Because as soon as you do this, and you'll notice very easily, you'll notice that some people actually don't really give a fuck about progressing, and they care more about being a part of the group. And this is a very dangerous trap, because as soon as you're falling into that trap, you might stay stuck for a very long time, and that's not where you want to be. So you not only need to be careful about if you're not in a group, or if you're in a group where you're the best in, then in that case you need to find a group where people are better than you, so that you can then seek improvement at the same time. Because as soon as you do this, you'll see it's very easy. This is what I did every single time I was a part of a group. Like I joined a lot of different groups, a lot of Discord groups, a lot of communities online, blah blah blah, a lot of different things, right? And most of them I've actually left, most of them now, because I've outgrown the communities, and now I am actually much better than the average member there. So I don't really want to be a part of that community unless I'm getting something out of it, right? Unless I'm improving as a person, getting some kind of financial compensation or something like that. So it becomes very easy for you to think to yourself, okay, if I'm a part of this group, what am I getting? What am I getting out of it, right? What am I getting out of it? Think on this. This is very important. Think on, what are you getting out of the groups that you're a part of? It could be friend groups, It could be online discords. It could be any and all places, right? It could be a real friend group. It could be your work colleagues. It could be your classmates. It could be literally anybody. If you are in the part of that group and you want to do better, and you want to seek improvement, and you want to change as an individual, as a man, and do better, then in that case, you are going to want to ask yourself, am I really the best out of this group? Like, am I getting any information or any value out of this group that would make me want to stay here? And if the answer is no, then I would recommend seeking those better groups in order to change, in order to improve, and that starts with you. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy these types of videos. And with that said, I post a video every single day, so if this is the kind of videos that you're interested in to become a more respected man and to learn the lessons along the way or to share them, then with that said, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one tomorrow. See ya.